Kuf Mem Ches, or you can read the whole page of both. You'll see like this. It's quite clear that the concept of Asius, of Reshimu, and Sheresh HaKelim is really Keich HaGvul. Keich HaGvul Shebein Sof Shelifnei Tzimtzum, that was revealed through the Tzimtzum. We'll take a look, you'll see. He says pretty much Asius and Sheresh HaKelim and Keich HaGvul, and Reshimu is pretty much the same thing. So we're going to focus on Keich HaGvul, on Reshimu being the Keich HaGvul, as explained brilliantly in the Rebbe's Maimer, in Basiligani, Tovshin Lamed Zayin, Chelik Aleph. Okay, now everybody's back invited. I spoke for 1 or 2 minutes to the more advanced, and now, I gave them homework, if they're willing. I just want to prove to them what I said, from the sources, because we just have to look at the sources. We have to try it, as we said in the first class, that what we have to try is to understand the holy words of our holy tzaddikim, our holy rabbeim, the holy nisim. Okay, so back to everybody. This is fascinating stuff. So the way the Reshimu, what was left? You listening? What was left after the Tzimtzum? The Reshimu, a little trace. So it's explained. This trace is what? Is the ability of God to create limitation. He says like this, and we brought this already once in the past. This Avedis HaKedesh, it's a Kabbalah Sefer, Avedis HaKedesh, and I'm gonna read it word for word and translate it. It's a famous one. Those that learned Chassidus don't know this. The Ein Sof Hu Shleimus Mibli Chisaron. Now I'm reading again from the Rebbe's Maimer, our Rebbe's Maimer, Sefer Amorim Melukit Aleph, Basiligani Tovshin Lamed Zayin, page 222. The original Melukits, page 222. Basiligani Lamed Zayin, Perek Hey, Seif Hey, the 5th chapter. I'm reading in the 14th footnote. Ha'or Yudalad. So it says there, that it brings from the Avedis HaKedesh, the Ein Sof U'Shleimus Mibli Chisaron, Chas v'Sholem, that the infinite one, God Almighty, the infinite one, is complete in every way. He's not missing anything. God forbid. Right? And if you'll say if you say that God Almighty has an ability of infinite ability, but He does not have an ability of finite, let's say to create something finite, or to, let's say, limit His energy, if you say that He only has an ability, a koyach, a strength of infinite, and not an ability, not a strength of finite, you're saying He's missing something. You're bringing a deficiency to His all completeness. He's all complete. He has everything. So therefore, He cannot say that on God. God Almighty has everything. This is brought down in Chassidus many times. But therefore, you must say that the same way He has an ability in the infinite, He has an ability in the finite. Now, before the Tzimtzum, there was what? There was the infinite energy of God emanating from Him. Was there an ability for finite energy? Of course. But that ability was part of the infinite. Since He's infinite, since He can do anything, therefore He can do also finite. So how does the finite energy of God before the Tzimtzum, how does it find itself? It's found itself as part of the infinite. It's not separate, it's part of the whole infinity of God. Therefore, we have a problem. It was not recognized separate. It was part of the whole infinity of God. Similar to the parable of the student and the teacher, that was saying that the words that the teacher finds to give the student is really included in the entire picture, the entire puzzle of the great depth and breadth of the teacher way of understanding, but it's not recognized. It's overwhelmed with the great depth and light of the teacher. So the analog for this is even stronger. It's understood even better the way the Rebbe explains it here. The gam keach hagvul. The gam keach hagvul hakol batzmusi bli gvuli. The way the power of finite, the ability of God to do finite for limitation. The way it's before the Tzimtzum is also infinite. It's bli gvuli. Here, the finite is also infinite. Because it's only because God could do everything. God could do everything that's infinite. That's why God could do limitation as well. So the limitation, the way it's within God's infinity, the limitation, the ability for limitation is also part of His infinity. But that's not good enough to create a finite world. That cannot work to create a finite world. For a finite world, you need real finite energy. But the way the finite energy of God was before the Tzimtzum, it was part of the infinite energy. So therefore, you needed a Tzimtzum. And the Tzimtzum, what happened when there was a Tzimtzum? When God Almighty concealed. It's really concealment. When God Almighty withdrew. Okay, let's go siluk with it. We'll explain it later. The difference, the way it is. But the siluk means withdraw. It took away. When He took away the infinite energy, the infinite light, that the infinite godly energy that emanates from Him, what stayed? The finite energy. That's the trace. Very good. That's the Reshimu. So as the Tzemach Tzedek writes in Derech Mitzvah Secha, that the Reshimu, the trace, relative to the real thing, is like finite and infinite. Because that's exactly what it is. It's the finite energy. It's a divine energy. But it's the finite energy of the divine. Okay? Sort of. No, it's not separated from the source. It cannot be separated from the source. But we're going to go into later, different. So what happens now? The same way the teacher goes back. He's already in the state of the student, right? And he has to go back to his original thought and bring it to the student in simple words through the Tzimtzum, through that blank. He had to blank his head. Right? So here you have, now it says the same Efraim, Chazer v'hed, he brought the light again through the kav. We'll explain soon what's the kav. But through this light is called the kav. This light and energy that created all the worlds eventually, is brought back from the original infinite. The original infinite energy is brought back through the Reshimu. The infinite energy has to become limited through the finite energy of the ability and strength of God of finite, of limitation. That infinite energy has to go through the Reshimu. You understand? That's the way it works. The same way, like by the teacher and student. The teacher goes back to his original concept and brings that original concept through simple wordings, through the Reshimu, through those simple words. But he makes sure that all his depth is hidden there. And eventually, after 40 years of students deepening his mind deeper and deeper and developing and expounding, etc., he could reach what? The original thought of the teacher. Because it's there, it's really there, it's just hidden. The same way Hashem Chazer v'hed, he brought the light. After the Tzimtzum, he brought the light again. from his infinite light, but it becomes contracted through, it becomes limited. No, the contraction is already. The contraction reveals the finite energy of God, the Keach HaGvul, the Reshimu, the trace. Then he takes his infinite energy and shines it through the Keach HaGvul, the power of limitation, so that the infinite energy should be limited, should be somewhat limited, and it goes through that to create the world. Why? Because for creation you need both. For creation you need infinite. You cannot create something from nothing. It doesn't make any sense. Human being cannot. It's a total infinite energy. You need Keach Ein Sof. You need Keach Ein Sof. You must have the Keach Ein Sof, the Keach of infinity, the power of God's infinity to create. God has to use his infinite power to create. I say the words has to. I don't like to use these. God doesn't have to do anything, but that's the way we understand it. But on the other hand, if it's pure infinite energy, how could it create a stone? So it has to go through, that infinite energy goes through the Reshimu, goes through the Keach HaGvul, and it's limited to some extent, that eventually even a stone could be created. So they work together. The infinite energy and the finite energy of God Almighty, they work together. Because on one hand, you need the infinite energy to create, but then God wanted to create a limited world. So he needed the infinite energy to go through the finite energy as well. You understand? Somewhat. Somewhat we can understand. Somewhat. After all, remember we're talking about God Almighty. And whatever we understood is a trace, but somewhat is understood. Now, in short, this is the Kav. This is called the Kav. So the source of the Kav is from Lefnei Tzimtzum, it's from before the Tzimtzum. Right? The original infinite light goes through the Reshimu, goes through the Keach HaGvul, goes through the power of limitation, which was revealed through the Tzimtzum. The power of limitation was recognized and revealed through the Tzimtzum. And then Hashem takes back from his infinite light, and as it says in Efraim, I believe also. It's Chassidus many places. I don't have the Efraim here with me now. But in Chassidus many places. Yeah, bring some Efraim, no? Sorry, a second. Look for a different place. Samach Vav also discusses it. I'm sorry, give me 20 seconds. I know you're listening for a long time already. Please give me 20 seconds. Kufran Vav. Yeah, he brings in Samach Vav, in the beginning of Vayelech Samach Vav. He says in it's Chaim from the Arizal. That after the Tzimtzum, Himshich min Eid Sof, Kav Echad Yasher min Eid Eigel Shalai. Yeah, so it's from the Arizal. But Chassidus explains it. So first there was the Tzimtzum. The Tzimtzum revealed the Keach HaGvul, the Reshimu, the power of limitation of God. Then he took his infinite light that was before revealed, and he brings it through the limitation, the power of limitation. Okay, and what comes out from that is limited divine energy, but it's still connected with the infinite. It has other elements of infinity as well, which we're not going to go into now. Okay? Now, why do we call it a kav? A kav means a line, just in short. A kav means a line. What's a line? I know we're already an hour. It's going to go a little bit over. We're going to finish soon. A line is thin and long. Why is it thin? Thin means, again, I don't like to use physical, that's why I never use blackboards and nothing physical. Thin means not wide, means that it's limited. And long because it goes through all the worlds till this physical world. It gives its energy to goes through all the different levels, 10 sefirot of the 4 worlds, etc. Okay, understood?
Yeah.
That's also explained in Derech Mitzvah Hamonas Elikus Perek Vav, page Nun Beis. You'll see. That's what I just said. Okay. There's a little bit left to explain. And that is explained in Samachei, that really there's a difference, you hear? Really there's a difference between the way it's by the teacher, by the human being, by the teacher and the student, and the way it's above. What's the difference? So yeah, you have to make that difference. Because you're talking about God. By the teacher, the teacher cannot find those simple words. He cannot. He's limited. He has an obstacle. Why? Because the depth and wealth of his understanding is overwhelming those simple words. He cannot find it. Okay. He cannot grasp it. He cannot catch it. He can't. He says 2 things. This is the concept. He says 2 things. One thing is that those simple words are not in a recognized existence. Yeah? You listening? And also because his great depth is overwhelming those simple words. Therefore, he has to make a tzimtzum for himself. The mashpia, the teacher for himself needs that tzimtzum. Right? The teacher needs to make that tzimtzum, stop thinking to find those simple words. But when you're taking this as an example above to Hashem, you cannot say the same thing. You cannot say that God Himself, God Almighty, the Atzmos, doesn't recognize the Reshimu. You hear? He doesn't recognize the Reshimu. Hashem Himself doesn't recognize it. He has to make a tzimtzum to find it. No. I'm sure He recognizes it. Listen, very important. I'm sure He recognizes it. Although the energy itself is really lost within the limited energy is part of the infinite energy, as I explained before. But by Hashem, he could always recognize. Well, it's hidden from Him. He cannot. It's stupid to think so. It's ridiculous to say that. By God Himself, He cannot find it. He has to make a tzimtzum. It's ridiculous. But why is there a need for the tzimtzum? For the keich hagvul, for the Reshimu itself is lost and cannot find itself and become truly finite energy of God because it's lost within the infinite. He becomes recognized, the limited energy becomes a recognized existence after the tzimtzum. So he needs that for him to operate. For him to operate and eventually limit the infinite energy, he has to become recognized, not independent, not separate. So not separate from God, but separate from the infinite energy of God, from the infinite light of God. Yeah. So the tzimtzum is needed just for him, not for God Himself. For God Himself, of course, he recognized it the whole time. Even before the Tzimtzum. There's another point. Even during the Tzimtzum that Hashem withdraws officially, withdraws the infinite light, it's not for Him. Doesn't withdraw it really, He just conceals it. Relative to God Almighty, even during the Tzimtzum, it's not time, it's above time. At that point of Tzimtzum, relative to God Himself, the Atzmos, the light is shining just like before. And He recognizes the Reshimu. Was the Tzimtzum is only for the Reshimu. So basically, He calls it His Almus. He concealed, it's a concealment. Hashem conceals the infinite light from the finite light. It's like a game. He's playing with the finite light. It's concealed, but really it's there. It's the whole time there. There's no tzimtzum even. There was no real tzimtzum relative to the truth of the matter, relative to God Almighty Himself. It's only relative to the Reshimu, to the finite light. You understand? Explained? Relative to Hashem Himself, there's no tzimtzum. It's constantly shining. The infinite light is constantly shining. And relative to Hashem Himself, He's recognized the Reshimu. Of course, it's lost. Hashem can't find it. It's ridiculous. God Almighty Himself. But the tzimtzum is only to conceal the infinite energy from the finite energy, which God Himself doesn't need. And relative to God Himself, there is the infinite light is shining the whole time. There's never a tzimtzum. And he's explaining it the same way when Hashem created the world. So for relative to the world, Hashem is hidden, right? If we would see the truth of God, we weren't able to handle it at this point. So Hashem is hiding. That means He's not here. Of course He's here. He's hidden. He's concealed. The same way, the same way over here, that the tzimtzum is only relative to the Reshimu, to the outer, to the finite energy. But really, the infinite energy is totally revealed even during the tzimtzum and after the tzimtzum. But Hashem made it so that it should be concealed from the finite energy. Okay? Understood? Understood, yeah? Okay. One more thing. So what we have is like this. Comes out that the Tzimtzum is not Kipshute, as we started in the first class of Tzimtzum. That Tzimtzum is not literal. Relative to Hashem Himself, there's no Tzimtzum. It's only in His energy that emanates from Him. And as we explained at length in the past, that whatever happens to the light doesn't make any change in the source. What? Battery what? 5 minutes? Really? Oh wow. Oh, I said more. Oh wow. Okay. So the relative to Hashem Himself, there's no tzimtzum whatsoever. Because the tzimtzum is only in the light, as we explained in the past, that the light of the sun makes whatever happens to the light of the sun, whether it's cloudy, not cloudy, makes no difference in the sun. And the truth is that even relative to the infinite light, there is no difference. Because it's really only concealed, the infinite light is only concealed from the limited energy. But really there's no tzimtzum even in the infinite light. One last thing, what is this that the student after 40 years could reach the the teacher. What is this? What are we talking about? Oh, so this is La'asadav. When Mashiach comes through Torah and mitzvahs, which we're doing now. We are revealing, we are bringing down from Ein and Sof Shalif and Tzimtzum, from the infinite light. And eventually when Mashiach comes, there will be Gilu Ein Sof B'Kamachol, just like before the Tzimtzum. There was Gilu Ein Sof, that the infinite light was everywhere and revealed everywhere. The same way, after Mashiach comes, this will be the reality that godliness and the infinite light will be revealed everywhere. Question is, what's the accomplishment? Before creation was the same thing. The answer is, after you have a world and this revelation is in the world, it's a big accomplishment. After it's concealed, the Tzimtzum, and the world is created. And then, when you have eventually the infinite light revealed in the world, and the world can handle it, that's a big accomplishment. Right? Before the world was created, there couldn't be a world created, it had to be a Tzimtzum. But once there was a Tzimtzum and the world was created, and through Torah, special Torah's strength gives us and the world strength to be able to receive this infinite energy from Hashem, the tzaddikim, the righteous, and the world, and stay in its existence and not be nullified. And then he says, really, there's even more. But this we're not going to go into. Really, we even draw down even a higher level. But that's explained at length in the end of Samach Vav. It's not for now. Thank everybody for listening. Thank God we beat the battery, and we're still here online. Thank everybody for listening, and meaning that thank God that we're still, the camera didn't shut on me. And listen, review this several times. Review this. This is very deep. It's a lot of complicated pieces of the puzzle together. It's the only time we have such a long class, because I wanted to have the whole puzzle entirely together. Again, I suggest you to review it a few times, understand the rich, great secrets that was revealed by the Arizal, the Kabbalah, and explained in Chassidus at such great length. Thank you.